Alrighty. It's so nice to see all of you here. T, we were just talking about you. T, so I shared the videos of the Oath of Manifestation with Rose, and she is a fan of you because you're all over those videos.
Yes. Hi, it's so lovely to meet you. My name is Aaron Rose. I think I am lovingly called Rose because I feel like a flower all the time. But T, I want to tell you something. I love your wisdom. I love your heart. It speaks so loud, and I feel grateful to meet you and share space with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Likewise, I am definitely looking forward to this evening, and I'm more than sure that it will be a blessing for all. So, definitely, Rose. Thank you for those kind words.
Of course, of course. Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna get started. We want to be mindful of the time, and if people are still coming in, I'm gonna allow them in. But I just want to thank everyone for being here today on this call. It means so much to me. I haven't done an online Zoom call in a while. I think the last time I did it was for the Oath of Manifestation, which T was part of, and Alexis is familiar with the work. So, thank you all for being here with us. So, Aaron Rose, I've been working with her for a while. We became acquainted through a dear friend. Their name is Fatima, and Fatima is always sharing my tarot readings with their community. So that's how me and Aaron became connected, and we just felt such a bond. I think this is the first time we are seeing each other face to face. We're always over
It
the
is
phone.
actually, it totally is. Yes.
but but yes, so much gratitude, so much gratitude. There is one person here I do not know, so I will introduce myself. My name is Inaruti Arani. That is my indigenous name. My birth name is Kathy. Right, so some of you may know me as Kathy, some of you know me as Inaruti, but in these spaces, I do prefer to be called Inaruti because it took a lot to reclaim my indigenous name. I had to walk with an elder for 2 years. I had to learn a lot about my Taino culture, and the name Inaruti was given to me after they saw how I move in the world, basically. So Inaruti means woman of high truth, medicine. So because my elder felt like you're always speaking your truth and it's such good medicine. So that's why I was given the name Inaruti. So I originally from New York City. Right now I am based in Los Angeles. Um, I am dealing with what's happening right now with the wildfires. We are greatly impacted, but we are also safe. So I'm very grateful to be able to still hold this Zoom call from my home and not from a motel, which I was in like 2 days ago. So, so much gratitude. And, Aaron, I'm going to let you talk about yourself and share a little bit about yourself as well. You may start whenever you're ready.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Aaron Rose Phillip. I am 23 years old. I'm many things to be honest. I am so many different things in this world. But I predominantly work professionally as an artist, a fashion model, and a personality in media of sorts. I'm also an author and a writer, and I'm also I'm also really inclined to and dedicated to my religion and also spirituality. I'm relatively new to this world for full transparency, but being a part of this world has opened up my life and my heart in ways that I didn't even know was possible. And I really hold a lot of gratitude to Inaruti for being a major support in my life, spiritually and emotionally, in the past year or so, which has been, a very interesting year, which is the same for many, many different people. I feel like we really see each other. And something that I hold as a practice in my life, in my professional and personal life, is healing. I truly believe in collective healing and spiritual healing, and healing through making people feel seen and loved no matter what. It's something that I practice in my friendships and in my relationships always. And I try to spread that love and that healing in anything and everywhere in which I go or do. So I'm happy to be here with you all tonight to celebrate healing and this full moon with you all. I give so much gratitude to Inaruti and to all of you for holding the space for and with me. And it's my prayer that we have a really beautiful night.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. And I'm so grateful to be here. I'm just also very inspired by your work, by your advocacy, by your pictures. If you have not checked Aaron's Instagram page, please check it out. It is so inspiring.
Thank you.
I don't know if I'm saying it right. Who was that fashion designer? Moschino? Moschino? Am I saying it right?
Yes. In 2021, and 2020, I was working with Moschino, and that was the first time I'd ever worked with a fashion brand like that. And that holds significance in my life because those opportunities are rarely given to Black transgender women or disabled people. And I am a part of those two identities as a woman. And so to have the access to that opportunity in my life was, it was healing. It was a form of, cultural, restoration and cultural celebration of, the people whom I love the most. So it was a real pleasure getting to do that. And I thank you for celebrating that, Inaruti. Thank you so much.
Yes, every time I see it, I get chills. I'm like, so amazing, so amazing. It's just, seeing a wheelchair on a runway is like, I don't know, it's just so impactful. So definitely
Thank you. I mean, thank you. Thank you. It's my life's work, and I just am continuing to push for more abundance in that way because it's my life work. And I believe in a future where in an industry like fashion, which is notoriously so exclusive, it can become more inclusive.
Absolutely. All right. So we actually have other people on this call who are amazing.
Yeah.
We would love to have you introduce yourselves, share what you do. If you want, you could just simply exist as well. That's also welcomed. So, yeah, I would love to hear and just introduce yourself, share your pronouns if you use them, and where are you from? And anything extra that you want to drop into the circle.
Hi, everybody. My name is Aurelia. I'm based in New Jersey. My pronouns are she, her. I am a poet, a mom, an event producer, and I'm excited to be here. I'm feeling a little bit sluggish because I am one with the moon. And thank you for the space.
Thank you. It's so lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I just want to say Aurelia was at the first Modern Mystics event ever back in 2016. So Aurelia,
Wow.
forever. Thank you, Aurelia.
That is so beautiful.
All right, whoever is next,
Hi everyone. My name's Joelle. My pronouns are she, her. I'm so excited to be here. I actually used to do work with Inaruti in New York. I'm based in New York. And we used to work together doing social emotional skill development with young people in public schools, and it was the most incredible work that I've done to this point. I also identify as an artist, as an art educator. I'm also like in social work school to hopefully be an art therapist with young people. So I'm just thrilled to, get to spend some time with everyone who wants to soak in this full moon. And Erin Rose, it was just such a delight to see you. You're definitely all over my internet, and I was like, what a what a
Oh,
treat. Um,
I'm so heartened to meet you and to
yeah.
hear that. I'm gagged. Thanks so much.
Very cool. So, yeah, I'm really glad to be with everyone tonight.
So I just want to add that you see how we do these circles. Me and Joelle were basically doing these circles with children, which was pretty dope. So
Oh, that's so beautiful.
whoever is next, you can go.
Hi, everyone. I am T. I am in New York, born and raised. And I'm an educator in so many different ways. And this is the first time that I'm ever participating in a circle to embrace the moon. So I am definitely excited and just looking forward to sharing and learning. And, Roti, it is awesome to see you and to know that you are well. Definitely it is. So much. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rosanna. I also go by Luna. I live in New York City. I've worked before with Kathy. I feel like I like just follow you wherever you go. I'm actually in LA right now. I actually flew in Wednesday after knowing about the fire. But I'm just trusting that I'm here for a reason. I'm not sure when I'll be back or if I'll be back based on how things are going here. It's been very heartbreaking being here, but just trusting that I'm here for a reason, and I'm excited to just offer my services to those in need. I do breath work, I do Reiki, and just anything like energy healing and herbs is all that I'm about. So grateful to be here. I always love doing something for the full moon, and I was supposed to attend the Joe Dispenza event, but that was postponed. So it worked out because when I saw this, I was like, damn, I'm not gonna be able to join, but I'm here for a reason.
Yes, and we're so happy to have you.
Thank you.
I could go. My name's Alexis. I'm in Los Angeles and I am a psychotherapist. I am a mental health clinician that sees people in New York and in Los Angeles, and I lived in New York for a long time, even though I met Inaruti in Los Angeles. We just sort of resonated. We've done a moon circle together, and I'm grateful to be here with members of like spirit, because this full moon seems to possess a social depth that I think is important we all address. And that's what brings me here to hopefully finalize a very deep wounded cycle for our species.
Thank you, Alexis. Me and Alexis have a new moon circle in February, so stay tuned for that.
Yes. Okay. Oh my God. I love your energy so much, everybody. You're really lovely. And, I just am feeling grateful to be here.
All right, I think the only person left is Katie.
Hi, my name is Katie. I'm here in the dark because I'm sharing a space with my son who's sleeping. But yeah, Alexis sent me this. I'm based in New York, and I had known Alexis from way back working at the same yoga studio. But as I'm here, I recognize Inaruti from the Moon Dance upstate because we danced together this past year. And probably you can't see me, but I've been there for 2 years moon dancing with Punanate and everyone. So I do know you too. I didn't really realize that, but that's really exciting. And yeah, I always, try to go to moon circles and have led them, years ago and do it kind of off and on here in the city. And of course, moon dance. It's like on a full moon as well. So yeah, but I'm an artist, I'm a mother. I also teach yoga and art history. And I'm really passionate about astrology right now. And I've been like working a lot with that modality. Yeah, nice to be here.
So Katie,
Yeah,
we're trying to
it's so
figure
nice
out
meeting
how, like, what was the connection? And I didn't know you were invited through Alexis, but it's so crazy that you're a moon dance sister. So I'm so glad to have you here with me. I'm actually going to be smoking tobacco. I didn't bring my peace pipe just because I knew we will be recording, so I wanted to respect that. But if you ever want to pull out your pipe at all throughout the call, I will ask that you feel safe to do so.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about this moon and its significance. So the reason why this full moon is called the wolf moon is because during this time of the year, is like a lot of indigenous tribes know this to be one of the harshest times of the year because of the winter. There's a lot of scarcity, a lot of things are dying, and the wolves are known to be howling the loudest this time of year because they're hunting for food, they're searching, and the pack tends to be a little bit more stressed out during this time of year because of the challenges that come with the winter. For many indigenous tribes, this was a moment where people came together and gathered and reflected on what has happened, how we're going to move forward. And, it's really about sharing wisdom, sharing stories of resilience, and really like planting seeds of hope into the people so that we can carry that energy into the spring. Right. So we scheduled this weeks ago before the fires happened and things like that. And like now more than ever, I am witnessing here in LA, and all over really, but you see it really prevalent here in LA in the last few days, how important community is and how like true wealth is in community, because the government has been very slow to act, right? Like it's just so much red tape, there's so many obstacles. However, community has really what takes weeks and months for the government to act on, like community has been able to do it within days. So like Walk Good LA, I think they raised like $9 or $6 million within a week for the displaced people of LA. All over the city, there are mutual aid efforts and responses to this crisis, and we are witnessing firsthand the wealth and power that community has when we come together, right? Despite our differences, despite our obstacles, right? Like we're able to put that aside and really, really take care of the needs of the people. So, this is what this full moon is really about. This full moon is really about us coming together in community and really creating um, a wealth of resources between all of us, whether we're herbalists, energy healers, artists, poets, educators, caretakers, caregivers, everything that you can think of. So I really hope that when you leave this call, you feel inspired to organize, you feel inspired to connect, you feel inspired to work in. Oh, sorry, I lost y'all. To work in unison with one another, to really shift the consciousness, to really shift the way we relate to one another, to shift the way we relate to Pachamama, the earth, right? And to create new systems of wealth, abundance, of caregiving that is sustainable for all of us. So this is the theme that's very, very present with today's. Well, the full moon is officially tomorrow. We just, I have a full moon. I have a moon dance call tomorrow, so we're honing in earlier to that energy, but you know, it's really important that we not only do this today and now during crisis, but that we continue to really cultivate discipline, to be in community, to check in on one another, to make sure that we are okay, and to use our resources collectively to help one another. If anyone wants to share anything, I can open up the space. If you have any other information about this full moon, anything you want to share.
You know what? I'm happy to share something. It's not so much as relation to the full moon as it just is sharing gratitude for Inaruti. So I had a reading with Inaruti in December, and it was, it was upon the end of the year, which had been a particularly challenging and difficult year for me in terms of my life, career-wise and personal life-wise, like in terms of my relationships, in terms of like just experiencing a lot of disappointment, a lot of failure, a lot of a lot of a lot of things that broke my heart. I really wanted some direction. I wanted to know how it would be best for me to redirect my energy going into the new year, how I could protect my energy, redirect my energy, and what I could do to honor, to raise my vibration. And I had this reading with Inaruti, and the reading touched me. It touched my soul. It spoke to me. It helped me see myself again. It helped me have more renewed faith for the future and for my life. Because I was really down and out. Like I was in basically a spiritual depression. And it was so nice to have that validated, to have that be seen and understood, and to start to take actionable steps in, okay, what can I do in my life as to make this more pleasurable and easier and joyful for me every day versus all of the things that maybe I can't control right now. So, I took so many lessons from that reading, and Inaruti also shared with me her beautiful manifestation for 30 days videos. And I had watched all of them, and I was so moved by the conversations that were being had. I was particularly moved by you in those conversations. I thought that you were just brilliant, that your perspectives were invaluable and brilliant, and that you offered so much wisdom about life and about your experiences and about spirituality. And I just remembered feeling so touched and so moved by, the fact that there is a space in which, people are coming together to nurture each other like this. And, since the reading, The reading honestly led me to have what I consider a spiritual awakening. I think I had a spiritual awakening after that reading because something in me has really shifted where I was in a horrible spiritual depression and I just instinctually started facing my life every day as in, what can I do to cultivate happiness and joy for myself beyond, again, all the things that maybe I can't control, but that really bother me. I am someone who is particularly difficult at adjusting to change in my life. And also, I am not a fan of ignorance, social ignorance, spiritual ignorance, emotional ignorance, those things bother me. And I feel like those were very prevalent in my life last year. And also, just in my day-to-day life. I deal with a lot of it, when it comes to identity, when it comes to, the things that we're seeing in the world, what we're consuming in the world. It is often full of these negative traits that us individually have issues actually controlling. And so it was so grounding and important for me to start realizing, I do have more control than I think. I'm not forsaken. I'm not forsaken. I'm not forsaken by life or by God or by spirit, I'm not forsaken. There is more to life beyond what has happened. And I just have to create it for myself. I have to open myself up to receiving and to experiencing this life that I want. And so, I have developed, a routine every day where, like, no, my life isn't perfect, but I'm enjoying my life. And I think that through the action of joy, I am outwardly affirming and manifesting my desired reality because I have just given so much gratitude to my world, to God, to spirit every day. I cultivate joyful energy and vibrations in my life by listening to joyful music that uplifts my spirit. I get active every day. I dance. I, have returned to doing my skincare, which is something I abandoned because I was feeling particularly so depressed. I started honing in on my self-care, my self-love, honing in on what I consider to be my divine feminine energy. And it really jump-started my healing journey. It's made me do shadow work. It's made me see myself and understand myself in ways that I was aching to understand myself in. And it was just so moving. It was just so moving. And it's really moved my life. And, I told Inaruti before you all had joined the call, I'm in such a drastically different place than where I was when we last met. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And I thought I would just share that, with you all, that I'm feeling joy and gratitude.
Yes, yes. And we're going to open up the space after our grounded meditation that will be led by Aaron Rose. We're going to open up the space for us to share stories of our resilience, of what we have overcome, because sometimes it's like we rush through life and we kind of forget to like stop and reflect and be like, oh wait, I have overcome so much, I have gained so much wisdom. So just know that we will open up the space for all of us to share our stories so that we can be all inspired by one another. But we're gonna get into our grounded meditation, and it's gonna be led by Aaron. So I invite you can turn off your cameras if you like for this part, or you can keep them on, whichever makes you feel comfortable. But I ask you to just get comfortable, like shift. If you need to move to the floor, you can move to the floor. If you want to lay down, you can lay down. Whatever is gonna make you feel grounded. We're gonna be here for at least 10 minutes. So, do what you need. And then whenever you're ready, Aaron, you may go.
Okay, my love, thank you. I feel blessed to do this. Okay, everyone. Firstly, I want to thank you for trusting me. I'm gonna do this with so much care and love. So, I am grateful to begin. Welcome to this sacred moment under the powerful energy of the wolf moon. Tonight, we honor the wolf, its resilience, instincts, and deep connection to the pack. The wolf teaches us that strength comes not only from within, but also through our connections to others. Together, we'll ground ourselves, explore our inner wisdom, and extend love and unity to those in need, near and far. And thus we shall begin. Close your eyes, or soften your gaze. Begin to tune into your breath. Breathe in deeply through your nose, feeling your chest expand, and exhale slowly, releasing any tension. Again, breathe in and exhale. Letting your body grow soft and present. Feel the support of the earth beneath you, holding you gently yet firmly. Bring your awareness to your feet. Picture roots growing from the soles of your feet, reaching deep into the earth. With each inhale, draw strength and grounding energy from the earth. With each exhale, release anything that feels heavy or unneeded. Now, bring your focus to your heart center. Imagine a soft glowing light there. With each breath, this light grows stronger and steadier, filling you with a sense of safety and stability. You are here in this moment, supported by the earth and connected to the wisdom of the wolf. Now, shift your attention to your breath, flowing like the wind through a forest. Imagine yourself as a wolf, moving gracefully, attuned to your surroundings. Your senses are sharp, your instincts clear. As you move through the forest, ask yourself, what truth or inner knowing arises within me? What does my heart tell me about the path ahead? Trust your instincts. Just as the wolf listens to its inner voice, so too can you find clarity and direction within yourself. Yes. Now, let's expand the light within your heart. With each inhale, feel this light grow warmer and brighter. With each exhale, imagine it extending outward, like a gentle wave connecting to others in this circle, in this city, and beyond. Picture this light reaching Los Angeles, touching the hearts of those experiencing hardship and disconnection. Imagine this love bringing a sense of hope, peace, and understanding. Now, let this light travel further across oceans and continents to Palestine and the Congo. These are places where resilience, struggle, and longing for peace echo deeply. Send your love to the land and its people. See them bathed in this light, supported by the strength of the global pack. Mm. Take a moment to reflect on the interconnectedness of these struggles, how the wounds of disconnection ripple through different parts of the world. Yet, through this same connection, we can send healing, unity, and love. Breathe in strength and compassion. Breathe in strength and compassion. And breathe out love and solidarity. Yes. As we bring this meditation to a close, take a deep breath in, feeling the strength of your resilience, the clarity of your instincts, and the power of your connections. Exhale fully, anchoring these energies within yourself. Know that the love and light you shared extend far beyond this circle. Trust in the ripple effects of your intentions. And when you are ready, gently wiggle your fingers and toes, returning to this moment. Open your eyes, carrying the wisdom and compassion of the wolf into the world.
Thank you so much, Aaron, for leading us into that guided meditation.
Thank you. I'm honored. Thank you.
And I also want to say, like, if you had I had trouble grounding, and I think it's because everything that's happening here. Like, I did find myself kind of like fluttering inside and stuff like that, and that's perfectly okay. You can always revisit this meditation and, keep doing the work to ground, to connect, to send your love. So thank you so much. All right. So now we're going to go into sharing and reflecting. This is where we get to connect with each other a little bit more. and share, nuggets of wisdom, stories of resilience. And I'll start the storytelling. Uh, I've never had an easy life. I can recall since my childhood, I've kind of been in survival mode, right? And I feel like my whole life I've been trying to kind of get out of survival mode, right? So much to the point that I created healing spaces for people who were experiencing the same, right? It's just like, how do we anchor in our joy? How do we resist? How do we navigate the things that are hurting us, especially when it's, on a systematic level, right? So I just want to share that when I first moved to LA, I had a job lined up, but the job did not end up being what it was. And I see you smiling, Alexis. Alexis, actually, a lot of y'all are a big part of this story because a lot of you held a lot of space for me when I was going through this. I remember when I first moved in here and Aurelia sent me a voice message, and Aurelia was just like, "How's everything? How's LA?" And I was just like, "It's fucking horrible." Like, I was just like, "Oh my God, like, what the fuck did I do?" And even 30 days of manifestations, I'm holding space for others while holding space for what's going on in my world, right? And even you, Katie, know about this because I've shared it. I shared it during our Moon Dance with our Moon Dance sisters, and just sharing like the need for prayer. So when I came here, I became unhoused, and like critically unhoused. Like, I was squatting in an office building, and I was, I had my things in the car, and I was not well. And I can honestly say, I think what helped me pull out of that was the community that I had around me. So, like my community in New York City, just sending me love, sending me donations out of nowhere. Like some days I will wake up and I will wake up to donations, and those donations will help me not be in, like, help me through the next 24 hours, literally. Alexis held a lot of space for me. Sometimes I would feel bad because I know Alexis is a therapist, and I got a lot of free therapy sessions, through her holding space for me. And, when I will do my moon dances, I will like just pray for housing, pray for stability, pray for sustainable work that is not going to deplete me and drain me of my resources, where I can continue to share my light. And it was one of the hardest things I ever had to overcome. But I could not have done it without the support of the community that I have built both here and in LA. And throughout that crisis, I realized how rich I am and wealthy. And maybe it's not in, maybe it's not reflected in my bank account, right? Or, in my job title, but it was definitely reflected in how many people care about me, how many people were there to answer my phone call when I called, how many people were there for me to sit and listen, and just sit and listen. Because sometimes I would be like, I do not want any advice. I just want to, allow this purge to happen through talking. And now I'm in a better space, as you can see, in the background. I'm housed. I'm in a 2-bedroom. My child, despite all of those challenges, he graduated high school and made it to college. So, I'm a living testament that, with community, with friends, with people you can count on, you can overcome anything. But I know for a fact that if I did not have my community, if I did not have friends, if I did not have people who cared for me and checked in on me and did their due diligence to make sure I was okay, I would not be here to share this story today. So just sending my gratitude and giving thanks. And that's my story of resilience.
We are so proud of you, Inaruchi, and we love you, and we honor your journey and resilience. You truly radiate it. You radiate it, as well as joy. So thank you for sharing that with everyone.
Yeah, the first time we did our tarot readings, I was at a homeless shelter.
Wow. Yeah.
So
And
and I think that's the hardest part too sometimes. It's just like, like you could be going through something, but still showing up to serve, in whatever capacity that you can. So, I just also want to encourage that your life does not have to be perfect for you to help someone else, right? Like, like whatever capacity you have, I encourage you to step forward. And with that, I will mute myself, and whoever would like to share a story of resilience, they may. And please allow us to celebrate you.
I can share. So truth, I've never been in a full moon circle. This is my first one, and so truthfully, there's no one other than Inaruti and all of the people she knows and loves and trusts. I trust no one more than her. And so this has been beautiful. And Aaron Rose, everything you got me immediately as soon as you said I am not forsaken. I was like, whoa, like it hit me like a pile of bricks. And that meditation was a whirlwind for me. And there were a lot of tears. I'm in a season of like liberation, and
yes.
did start with heartbreak, both in like a partnership, but then also just like in the state of things, just feeling genuinely heartbroken by the world, and how it was evolving, devolving in many ways. And so um I absolutely leaned into community. I have, I'm so fortunate my family as well, and my chosen family as well, and brilliant and so supportive of me and lets me be my absolute self. And learning that this is the wolf moon, it just came at the right time for me. I Yeah, I'm still sitting with it, but that feeling of tapping into my own senses, my own instinct, and being less fearful of the knowledge that I do know me and what I can do and what is best for me. Um, it's a lot of bravery for me, bravery that I've been really afraid of. And I think during the meditation especially, like I really was able to focus in on some things, and I realized like my inner child is so scared right now, but there's this wiser part of me that knows how to protect that part of myself, and uh seek out and intuit how to protect her. And so that's been a really wonderful journey for me. And it's also interesting because like with all of the changes that I'm experiencing and the liberation that I'm experiencing, the past few days especially, I've been like so avoidant of journaling. I think it was like I felt like there was so much going on, and I didn't have any words. I didn't know what to say. And like this moment has just like really grounded me and brought me back to a point where I can face my emotions and sit with things and reflect. So I'm really grateful for everyone. Thank you.
We're grateful for you. We're grateful for you, my love. Thank you for sharing. I'm so happy that the meditation touched you and made you think.
Yeah, and there's going to be a journaling part of this workshop. So get that notebook and pen ready.
So I'll go. First, I want to thank Rose for helping me get grounded. And there was something so special
Thank you.
about the rhythm in your meditation, that there was this oomph, this kind of message you were sending that was well received and very powerful. With every oomph, you used to say it was like a spike of energy. And so thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, T.
Yeah, resilience. So, I'm one of the older ladies, the more seasoned here, and I can share many stories of resilience. Um, but I live today in full gratitude for all the experiences in life. Early on in my life as a adolescent and into adulthood, community was not part of my life. It was a very lonely role because there was no trust. Trust was broken early on as a child by people that were supposed to care for me and nurture me. And so when that's broken, trust is almost impossible, and connections is even worse. And so for many years, I fought the fight on my own. I mean, I think there were probably some silent angels that would always guide me. I didn't know it then, I know it now. And I'm more than sure that there were people that really genuinely cared and wanted to be there, but there was no trust. There was no connections for a very, very long time. The one thing that I always did do, and I'm, grateful for that, was that I was always available for others. And so that was sort of the way that I cared for me, was by caring for someone else. And maybe it was denial, whatever we want to call it, but it was a survival. It was a technique that allowed me to exist, that allow me to learn about the value of healing, the value of holistically being present, and more importantly, the value of community. Um, Definitely, this is a perfect time to sit in this space because I was feeling a lot of sadness and a lot of anger towards, what was happening and continues to happen throughout the world. Whether it's in, Los Angeles, whether it's next door, with so many people do not value community, do not value inclusiveness, and do not value each other. So it's wonderful to sit here and have this space with such powerful people that are taking it upon themselves to care for themselves first and foremost. It took a lot for me to have self-compassion. And so that's definitely, really important first and foremost. But always, making sure that we connect, and being able to connect to those that no one wants to connect to, or those that may be difficult to connect with, is where the power really is. So I leave you with that. At some other point, I'll share some more, but I think you got the message, Let's not push people away. Let's embrace. Let's have self-compassion. We often get too busy, right? Because it's good to get busy and look out for everybody else. But self-compassion, mi gente. Self-compassion and gratitude.
Thank you, T. T, I must say, your skin looks amazing and your hair looks amazing and you look so good.
Thank you. That's what a little self-compassion does. You know what I'm saying?
You look so
I'm
good.
gonna tell you it. When I met Roti, which is Kathy, she was my yoga instructor amongst so many other gems that she gave me, not knowing what she was giving. And I just turned 65 this year, and I have more energy than when I was in my 30s. So don't get challenged, people. When you hit 30, it's okay, because 40 is gonna get better and 50 is gonna get even better. So it's up to you to make it better.
Oh, T, thank you. Thank you. I feel so emotional just hearing you talk, you share your story, and thank you for bringing the medicine of self-compassion into this conversation, because we cannot be compassionate towards community if we're not first and foremost compassionate towards ourselves. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, T. You made me cry. But you do that. It's just you have this really beautiful way, T, of connecting to the soul. And I want to thank you for everything that you shared. It's so really crucial and vital to be able to hear your perspectives. And we really honor you.
Thank you.
Really honor you.
Thanks.
We are so lucky to have an elder in this space. So again, like, let us just pour love on you and
That's right. Well, give me that love. Don't be cheap. Send it over. Come on. I teach and disciple. I teach in the South Bronx. You know, I'm a El Barrio girl from East Harlem, and I've always worked with the underserved. I don't, if you, you know, I don't want the money. I want the jewels and the gems of life, of giving to those that could use it. And so I'm going to be working with 8 women, a lot of pain. So pour me that love so that I can take it right back to the other women.
Hey y'all. T, thank you so much for your insight. And to echo a little bit of what you were saying, like, I've been feeling resistance in sharing this whole time because I haven't been in a very good place mentally. When it comes to resilience, I feel like the last couple of weeks or even months, I've just been feeling like a lot of pent up anger and sadness and aggression. And, you know, I was doing really good at going to the gym and expelling that, but it kind of didn't feel like enough. And then my body started, I don't know, like I was experiencing deeper pains inside of my body that I didn't feel before. So I took a break. And within that break, I kind of started to feel better, but also now I'm like, okay, there's no other way for me to get rid of all of this anger. Usually I'm pretty good at transmuting what I feel through my writing, but I've also been feeling disconnected from my writing. And, you know, event producing is also one of my passions. And the first 2 years that I was in this, I was very like full speed ahead and I had all of the energy in the world. And this time around, I'm feeling kind of not doubtful, but I just don't want to keep up with the rat race. I feel like in the beginning, I was trying to keep up with what everybody else was doing. And during those 2 years, I saw a lot of things through other people that I was able to collaborate with that I didn't really like. And it made me feel like I wasn't working with in integrity. So this year, you know, everybody's excited that the new year has arrived and have all of these goals. And I'm kind of moving at a slower pace than usual, holding a lot of sadness and anger and trying to transmute that. But part of the resilience is that anytime I come to a roadblock, I realize that God and my angels and my guides always send me some type of anchor within 24 hours. I'll be like screaming, crying, throwing up, and then I'm like, oh, everything's fine. So just kind of remembering that there's no need to make myself worry more than once because there's always a solution, even if it literally comes out of nowhere. One of my favorite things about being resilient is I became a mom when I was a teenager, and now my child is a teenager and they're going to high school next year and they're like literally blowing it out of the water. They're doing so good. like their grades are amazing. They're in so many things in school and have applied to so many different high schools. And I'm just like really like that is bringing me light these days. And I know that that's her thing. Like I try not to make it mine. She's like, are you talking about me again? And I'm like, because I'm so proud. Um, but I'm just proud to know that through all of the things that I have suffered and endured, that I'm still doing the right thing at bringing a human into the world and giving them useful tools to navigate themselves, but also this outer world. And it's kind of scary. We're experiencing a lot of really deep and hard things lately. And it kind of feels like nobody's fazed by it. Like I know there are people in my inner circle that are fazed by it, but they don't really talk about it too much, or they don't really show up as much as they used to in the beginning. So seeing everybody pull through for all of, the victims of the LA fires and still talk about Gaza and things like that. Like it feels good, but sometimes it can be jarring, like even my family members, something so simple as like, oh my God, I love this creamer from Starbucks, or like my brother-in-law loves going to McDonald's. And I'm like, I don't do that. I don't know if you got the message or not, but it feels like even those small things that we're able to control, people have no self-control. And it feels like sometimes you're in this by yourself. So I usually have a lot of positive things to say, but I am really feeling down and out, and I'm hoping to get through to the other side very soon. Like Inaruti said before, I've been doing a lot of work with her since 2016, and I have really grown and evolved so much. And the things that I used to dream about in the beginning, working with her, have come to fruition times 10. And I know that there's still so much to uncover and to blossom through. But I'm grateful for you, and I am so sad that you're so far away, because I always tell people my medicine woman, she lives in LA now and I don't trust nobody else. But I'm always so proud to connect people to you, and it's really good to be here. So thank you for holding space. And Erin, thank you so much for your meditation.
Thank you, love. Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing your heart with us. We honor you and we honor everything that you are. And truly, just thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Yes, Aurelia. So I remember when you started hosting the poetry events, and I was just feeling so proud of you, because you were stepping into your medicine, into your light, and like sharing it with the world, collaborating with others. And I'm more than happy to offer you support outside of this call, because I know how hard it is to create these spaces and to sustainably create these spaces as well. And also, I want to tell you that I took nearly 2 years off from group spaces, and it was still in alignment, so sometimes we do have to slow down. There's a period to move quickly, and there's a period where we're accomplishing so many things and making resolutions and doing all the collabs and things like that. And then there's a time where like you have to rest and you have to nourish yourself. And even with this full moon is about that. Like, it's really not the time to be doing too much. I think that's why I'm so tired, like because of this crisis with this fire. In the last few days, I've been doing a lot of organizing, and my nervous system is like, whoa, like just take a nap, and just honor that your body is in tune with the cycles of the earth, in tune with cycles of nature. It is perfectly normal to feel anger and rage. The other day I kind of let out a whole bunch of systematic grief on my godmother, my moon dance godmother, and I think it was overwhelming because she didn't respond. But I was just like, nobody wants to boycott. Nobody wants to do anything. Like nobody wants to, like everyone wants to like keep feeding the war machine. Everyone wants to keep these powers in place, and they just want, like, I get it. I get it. And also like compassion and understanding. It's gonna take a lot of work to decolonize and to bring people back into right relation with themselves, with each other. And sometimes all we can do is lead by example. And I sometimes think that example is by resting and being like, you know what? I'm gonna take like 3 months off. I'll be back. And nature shows us how to do that as well. She's literally doing that right now. So thank you for sharing, and know that I can offer support outside of this call.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I think I can go. I have an idea of how I want to express resilience to you all. Thank you so much to both of you for having this. In the spirit of divesting from the rat race, I think that I personally, as a spiritual entity here to assist us towards evolution, that part of returning to our animal nature in its perfection is becoming attuned to my own intuition and instincts. And in these fires, as a very simple example, I have, like you in RT, and probably like you too, Luna, had to really listen to my body and what my body is telling me, in contrast to what humans are telling me, what media is telling me, what my environment's telling me. I was like half a mile away from a fire, and that was very interesting for my nervous system, and a lot of other things. And I think that in my resilience expression over the course of the last few years, that it has been in doing things like boycotting, in the presence of very loud pressure and encouragement in contrary. So I live in Los Angeles. This is like influencer trash fire of capital of the earth. Like it's so bad. And there's so many different extreme polar vices available to all of us and being thrown at us all the time. And I feel committed to living here because it's also the source of cultural influence, social influence, media, narratives. And in order to like make systemic change, I feel that I must stay resilient in my ethics, in listening to the instincts of myself and my real pack, and also being able to identify what feels unnatural, what feels unhealthy, what feels dissonant. And I guess in the meditation, I understand that it's in my genome to know how to live with the land harmoniously. And I have been trying to embody that more fully, and that's where I experience my resilience, and I think that's where we can move forward as a community. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Alexis, for sharing and always being the wise woman that you are, and just being such a channel for spirit. You have been such a support for me here. And, I know I'm not always the easiest personality. As kind and loving and as nurturing as I am, I'm also from the Bronx, so I could be so blunt and so direct. Sometimes it's not love and light. And, you've been such a wonderful person in just showing grace and acceptance, but also you're also very direct and blunt. And your authenticity, right? And how you just show up in spaces is so inspiring. And, I just want to say that I appreciate you and I love you. And I am so glad that we're walking this path together. And, no one reminds me of my purpose and my mission like Alexis. Like Alexis, when I forget, Alexis reminds me, liberate yourself from this matrix so that you can show us all how to do it as well. So, just know that as we going through so many changes and so many shifts, like we're really the examples that we need to be for not only ourselves, but our community and, the world. So thank you, Alexis, for sharing.
Yeah, thank you, Naruti. I want to say too, based on like instincts and getting out of the matrix, and I think it's extra goofy that you know Katie. Like this is so like if we're talking about like the wolf moon and wolves running with their packs and stuff, like I used to live in New York, and that's how I met Katie when I was 20. And we were just like the witchy, weird people. Like we were part of a collective called the Moon Church, and we would be in like women's moon ceremonies in Brooklyn. And then I like went on to Los Angeles like 13 years later, and now I've met you in Aruti, but you already know her. So it's like you'll know this magnet of understanding of us like walking in together. So I thank you all for being here in this group too, because I think that we're all walking forward together and we've resonated for reasons beyond our conscious awareness.
Yes. So another funny story with Katie, last year in Moondance, I was picking up another sibling for like at the train station for Moondance, and that's where I saw Katie, and we were just like, oh my God, like that's like we just looked at each other and we're like, that's a moon sister and stuff like that. And we was just on the car ride together into walking into the space. So me and Katie keep meeting each other by accident, but it's not by accident. It's like, it's such a weird interaction, but it's so amazing to have you here because I felt really disconnected from my moon dance sisters because I'm here in California. So I'm not able to go to the sweat lodges. I'm not able to go to the ceremonies. I'm not able to help with the land. So just having you here, Katie, is just so like, like I can't believe it. And also Alexis, so I put out I've been seeing visuals of me rain dancing. I've been seeing those visuals, and I was like talking to Spirit earlier today, and I was kind of like I want to connect with the original people of the land. I just don't know their contact information, and you sent me their contact information, and I didn't even ask for it. Like it was so bizarre. Like
That's so right. We need to make it rain.
so I was just like, okay, so this is a sign. This means I need to reach out to them today.
Yeah. I'll join you on that later too. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just gotta just laugh at the cosmic giggle of how interconnected we all are.
Yeah, thank you. I remember that ride and it was like just definitely stuck in my memory and meeting you then. And yeah, it's funny because for me, I feel like one reason why I wanted to do this is I'm originally from California and I haven't lived in California for over 20 years. But like several years ago, my hometown like burned down and, people were kind of a huge amount of people were like dealing with losing their home. And I felt like connected through my family. And So I just feel like connected to California, even though I'm not there, and my sister is there, and um yeah, just like how it's kind of become hell without having the water. And I went to college in LA, and actually that I left kind of hating it. So like like understand like what Alexis was saying. The superficial aspects of LA. And yeah, this year I feel like I definitely identify a lot with resilience in a way, but I feel like I'm also somehow going through my own like kind of lone wolf period, and like uncomfortable kind of with that in itself, of how much I've had to just kind of retreat and heal myself, and like not and like deal with, all of my emotions, and like personal, like I feel like this year, usually because it's the Cancer full moon, for me it was like realizing, kind of just reconnecting to my family. I feel like I didn't see all the ways that I was kind of estranged from them, or building this whole life and intentional community. And in earlier periods I feel like I've had much more motivation to like be the change, and a little bit mixed with naivete, but then kind of became very disenchanted too, and like the trust issues living in this city and living in capitalism. And so I feel like I've just been like really, like I turned 40, just kind of being in this vulnerable place that feels necessary, kind of like, who am I? What am I doing here? Like, I know I have a lot of tools, but, you know, yeah, wanting to show up and feeling like just exhausted by, especially this past year, like just fighting for survival, been looking for like housing for 5 years. I'm gonna have a kind of rental, like a public rental subsidy. So I'm moving into a 2-bedroom soon, which I'm really excited about, and just feels like justice in terms of like what my son needs. I feel like I wish I was doing more and even more connected in community, but it's just like haven't, I feel like I'm just sort of in this place of, yeah, fighting to just exist in a lot of ways, and fighting a lot of battles with my institutions that I work for, even in my son's school, that like I feel like I am somehow uniquely designed to fight. And there's been like triumphant moments there. Like I feel like I've fight and I've won a lot of battles, just educating people about like, I don't know why, like, and yet didn't ever really feel comfortable fighting for myself, but just sort of like, okay, acknowledging that's part of the love and compassion you bring to the world, and not really liking that we have to fight for our basic human rights sometimes, or, housing, or like just, I think so much of the economic impact is really hitting me after 20 years of kind of like living the artist life and trusting and being generous and giving a lot, but also, yeah, like acknowledging where my shadow is in operation, and just the complexity of community. I feel like I grew up around spiritual community from a young age, but was also very like confused by it and disenchanted from that, and like living in California and almost completely rejecting it, and still just having this kind of like, I don't know, yeah, going through a lot of soul searching, but I do feel positive, and I've had a lot of, I just want to also like acknowledge all the beautiful experiences I've had in community, from moon dance and so many different circles I know that are connected to the moon, and that's been something really healing for me. Maybe that we even just lose track of how we use these tools and how they help us grow, even if it feels like, okay, I have to process all of this grief, and I'm feeling like, yeah, ill this year in ways that I was just like, I want to be happy and energized and show up and, live life. But it's like sometimes you just have to accept where you're at. And yeah, I think that's resilience, and I'm definitely like the Phoenix type of person. But yeah, I want to like acknowledge the truth without getting stuck. Cause I feel like I've been in that place of like maybe getting stuck in the darkness too, too much. So I love this idea of joy. I want to feel connected to that and our creativity and joy as well at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. Katie, and you bring up a really important point in your share, and it's just how like we're not going through stuff alone. Like so many of us are experiencing housing insecurities, and it looks different. Like I always tell people, like homelessness is a spectrum. Like it looks different for everyone, but it's just so many of the same things that we're all experiencing: housing insecurity, battling these institutions, just having to raise our children in these environments as well, and the challenges that comes with that, and also being just generous people living in a world that knows how to take, right? Like, and not give back and not reciprocate, and how challenging it is for all of us to navigate that and still remain soft, right? Like that's the challenge, is like, how do I remain soft in a world that is constantly hardening me? And so thank you for sharing that. Like, we're not alone, and sometimes we just got to create these spaces so that we remind ourselves that we are going through this as a collective, and our liberation is not going to be an individual one, it's going to be a collective one. So thank you for your medicine. I feel emotional just hearing you share your story. So I'm so grateful that you're here, and I'm so grateful you exist. And I'm going to be praying for that 2-bedroom apartment. It's going to feel so amazing.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm going to keep smoking my tobacco to bring in that prayer a little bit faster.
Yeah. It's been a long time. I've been like saying that for like 5 years, but like I think it's really here. So
yes, it's time. It's time. It's now. It's already here.
yeah. Okay.
Yes. Oh my God, I feel really touched by everyone. Katie, thank you so much for sharing, for real. That really, I'm praying for the best for you in every and all ways, and for your son. You really deserve it. Thank you so much for sharing. So I guess I'll go now to share resilience. Listening to all of your stories was so heartening, and it really made me think about what has made me feel resilient recently and what resilience has meant throughout my life. Also, I hope you can hear me. Can you all hear me? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes my audio gets a little weird, so just let me know. When I think about resilience in my personal life, I've been through a lot, as you all have. I've been through a lot. I have quadriplegic cerebral palsy, so I deal with a major disability. I'm unable to walk, and I require a caretaker who is my father. And I've lived with my father my whole life. My father is an immigrant from Antigua and Barbuda, which is 2 small islands in the Caribbean. We came here to the US when I was about 3 because in Antigua, my parents found it really hard for them to find adequate medical care that I needed during that time. So we relocated to New York City, and that is where we started our life. My mother, my beautiful mother, who's my best friend, still lives in Antigua for reasons that don't really have much to do with her, um, which are like not great reasons. But I filed for her citizenship, and it's actually, it's happening. It's actually working out really well. So she'll be here soon, hopefully. Although I personally think with the state of things, there's not that much to look forward to. But it's gonna be really great to have her with me anyways, because she's my everything. So I've been disenfranchised from a really young age. I I experienced homelessness. There was a point in my life where I was homeless with my father. We lived in a shelter. Um, Luckily enough, it was like, thinking back, like in retrospect, it was a really good shelter. And you know, as much as it's jarring to be in those situations, especially because I was so young when I was in the shelter. I think I was about like, I think 11 or 12. So I was really small, and it was hard to adjust to that because right before we entered the shelter, I was actually an inpatient um, for a major hip surgery because I've also experienced a lot of surgery in my life because of my disability and, medical efforts in trying to get my body to be the best that it can be for me. So, right after I had that surgery and recovered, I was actually homeless. And also, I was homeless because my dad needed to be with me in the hospital to take care of me. And it was during that time that he lost his job. So, that is the reason why we experienced homelessness. And that went on for about 2 to 3 years, I think. I don't exactly remember. My memory is kind of fuzzy around this time because I was so small, but I remember, it being a relatively difficult time for me for sure. But as a child, you make joy out of things like that. I don't know how children do it. I think children are really magical for that, where they sort of have an innate alchemy to turn negative into positive through, an innocent mind and an innocent heart. And I think I definitely experienced that. And so, I turned a negative situation into a positive one constantly, where I still found joy, mostly because as much as I knew what was going on, because I totally did, I was really conscious by that age. Um, I was young enough to like not let it bog me down that much, except for certain days where, it was hard. I had days where I was really angry and upset. I was upset for people to mention it. I was upset for people to talk about it. I didn't really want to be a part of, my life, but I would always come back to reality and feeling happy because I was a child. So, that's the magic of, that part of my life. Um, so I want to stand in solidarity for anyone that's experiencing housing insecurity. Um, it's not an easy feat. It's not an easy thing to go through, and you're all doing an incredible job in managing, and I hope you're able to honor yourselves for that. Um, that's one thing I wanted to say, and that you're very resilient for handling that. So that's one thing that comes to mind with resilience. I'm gonna get more current. Um, Inaruti briefly mentioned that when we had our first reading and experience together, she was living in a homeless shelter. That was unbeknownst to me. Inaruti, I want to thank you for mentioning that and for trusting us with that. I honor your journey. I honor your resilience because honestly, thinking back to that moment with us together for the first time, nothing, I would have had no idea. So it just really goes to show your immense strength and power through any adversities. And I honor you for that. So something that I want to say that I'm going to touch on without giving too much detail is that while Inaruti was in a homeless shelter during our first reading, I was recently I had recently become a survivor, for full disclosure. Um, it happened to me in August of 2023, and we had a reading I think December 2023, if I'm not mistaken. And that was a really, it's one of the worst things that has ever happened to me or that I had to go through. And I was feeling really lost and I was extremely hurt and vulnerable, and I was really just aching every day. Um, and I really needed guidance. I really, really needed guidance. So that is when my beautiful friend Fatima, they connected me with Inaruti during that period of my life, and that's when we had our first reading. And the reading, you know, I was brought to tears on our first reading immediately because I had felt so touched and so like I felt so much love, and I felt so touched for the fact that somebody who I didn't yet know personally could see me and understand what was going on in that way that I was struggling to feel from a lot of people in my life at the time, mostly because I hadn't publicly come forward yet, and it was really fresh, and I was really hurting, and I really wanted support. I actually was at one of my best friend's house as we were doing the reading, and I was in her bedroom and she was in the living room because she wanted to give me space to do it. So you know, during that tumultuous, traumatic, you know, time of my life, I leaned on community, and community was there for me. And I am so eternally grateful for that to this day. I never take things like that for granted. Um, but I was so grateful for the reading with Inaruti, because it was exactly what I needed during that time. And from that point forward, my life continued on. I was still hurting. I was still hurting a lot. And this hurt, you know, continued itself into last year. And then I faced a really difficult year because as I had touched upon, I'm a fashion model. Um it was, you know, excuse me, it's my dream, you know, to be a fashion model because I am all the things that nobody would really consider in a fashion model, but I knew that I could contribute beautifully to the industry being exactly who I am. And so my life's work was sort of pushing forth through all odds to receive trust and recognition from the industry that you think I can't do this, but I totally can, you know? And it's been an incredible journey. I have accomplished things in the past 7 years that when I first started, when I was a teenager, when I was 16, when I was still a minor, you know, those were just manifestations. Those were just prayers. Those were just thoughts, you know? And it's like when I was 16 years old, I dreamt about the cover of Vogue. And who would have ever told me that by 22, I booked the cover of Vogue? It's like to this day, it gives me full body chills, and it touches my heart because I feel like that was the work of spirit and the work of God. I don't think that just, you know, I don't think that just happened. Like, I think that was the spirit of God and the work of spirit. I really do, because that doesn't just happen. And I am so grateful for that to this day. And you know, upon that accomplishment, because something about my modeling career is that I specifically as a model have faced a lot of rejection and a lot of, you know, as much things as I have managed to accomplish. I've walked the runway for a major brand. I somehow booked the cover of Vogue. I somehow ended up having like a mannequin in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Like, how does that even happen? Like, I am so blessed. I am really so blessed. But even so, I'm a very ambitious woman. I'm ambitious. I'm a go-getter, and I want to have the equity in my career that other models experience, being able-bodied and maybe cisgender and maybe even not Black like me, like, because those models achieve, what I achieve, but they also consistently have an income, are able to walk the runway for major brands, are able to book all these jobs and things. And those are my goals from when I was young. So I've been able to experience a lot of abundance and blessings in my professional life. But I still have great setbacks. And what happened is I had somehow booked that Vogue cover. And my manager and I were so excited. We were thinking that this is the moment where, like, things are gonna take off from here. It's only up from here. And instead I went down. I went down in terms of my career. It really went downwards because the cover came out and they pushed, my managers pushed it out to the whole fashion industry. And all we got, if you can possibly believe it, was, oh, so cute. Like, red heart. This is so cute. Love. Instead of acknowledging, the work that it took to get this, the majorness of the moment, it was really watered down because I am disabled. And from that point, my managers and I pushed so much for further abundance and further opportunities with that, beautiful cover that I was, booked for. And we were rejected. We were rejected a whole lot, actually. And that was not, that cover and my past opportunities were not enough for my industry to fully accept me as an equal on their playing field. And this extended all into last year, where to our horror and shock, I really didn't book anything. And that also means I didn't make any money. So I started, my life started getting really financially insecure. And the financial insecurity actually comes from a lot of different things, but it's obviously, because I wasn't working. I wasn't working nearly as much as maybe I did in, for example, 2020, 2021, 22. It really came to a halt. It really came to a stop suddenly, or like a pause. I'm not gonna say stop. I'm gonna say pause because that's not an abundant mindset or abundant words to use. But it really came to a pause, and I was in horror. I was in shock. I felt grief. I felt disappointment. I felt anger. I felt hopelessness, and I felt forsaken all year long. I really did. I really, really did. Last year was one of the hardest years of my life because what was before that was supposed to be like one of the best years of my life. And then August happened, and then I stopped working, and then I have like no money. And it was just like really, really, really unexplainable and difficult. And yet I did move through it. I did move through it. I did exist through all of that. And around Christmas, I tested my best friend and I was just like, babe, I finally realized something. I understand why 2024 happened. And my best friend was like, why? And I was like, this year, all the chaos, all the disappointment, all the bullshit, all the pain, it actually taught me how to cultivate abundance and gratitude and joy for myself when times go left, which is a crucial life skill that I'm going to need as I continue to get older, you know? It taught me how to, reassess my life. Like, okay, I can't control the modeling industry, these people, the casting directors, the designers, anyone, that I would need to push forth my career. Um, they kind of are withdrawn from me now. That's beyond my control. and I have to deal with this, and it had hurt me, and sure, it still hurts me, but it took me to a place of being like, okay, I've been feeling bad for so long. I've had such a bad year. I honor that. I understand. But what can I do in my day-to-day life to make me feel better at this point? Because I was so tired of being in that spiritual depression. And it's like my body was telling me that, my nervous system was telling me that I was so tired of feeling bad. And so after this reading that I had with Inaruti in December, I genuinely had a spiritual awakening. And now my life is like so much better. And I don't have, everything, but I do have everything, if that makes sense. Like I have everything I need within me now, and it's continuing to grow and expand. Um, I'm able to cultivate happiness and joy within, a dark period of our world, what's been a dark period of my life. I feel myself truly healing again. I'm reconnecting with my inner child. I'm making art. I'm listening to music. I'm indulging in past interests I had, such as coding, such as, different movies and TV shows that I used to love when I was younger, just to feel reconnected to my younger Aaron. We love younger Aaron. So it's been nice to do that. So I've been living, I've been leading an active lifestyle. I've been dancing, I've been singing, I've been doing my skincare, I've been connecting with my friends. I've been praying for my friends. I've been praying for my friends a lot, and they feel really touched, like to tears. It brings them to tears when I pray for them. And sometimes I'm surprised because I'm just like, do others not pray for you? I can't fathom that. So I've been so happy to bring, you know, solace to others by praying for them, by extending my heart energy towards them. Um, it's been really amazing. So I feel like, I was in a big spiritual depression, and now I am recovering. Healing is not linear from anything in my journey thus far. I am a survivor and I am resilient. And I'm feeling really grateful to share that with you all tonight. And I feel so grateful that you even give me the space to talk. I honestly thought maybe I would be more emotional and cry and stuff about this, and I didn't. So that's kind of awesome. So, I just really want to thank you for the space and for the time where I can be with you all tonight and really enjoy this full moon and also share my love with you all. So that's where I'll conclude that. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing. And, thank you for reminding us that I think the way out of this mess is to be kids again and to be
Yes.
joyful and unbothered. And speaking of kids, my child just came out, and I just want to bring him out here for a second. Come here. Because
Yes.
like that inner child, right? And tending to that inner child. So this is my son Achilles. Wait, come down. I don't think.
Hello. Hello.
So when we were at the motel, because of the fires and stuff like that, I self-evacuated. I was just like, I'm getting out of LA County. My child here, I'm stressing, I'm crying, like I'm like going through it, and this boy is laughing, being silly, being unbothered.
Exactly.
And it was just like I was looking at him and I was just like, whoa, like he is like, we're literally relocating, packing our bags, going an hour and a half north out of LA. I'm crying. This boy is giggling, laughing, being silly, cracking jokes, and being completely unbothered. And I was just like, that's what I aspire to be.
Yes. No, he knows. He knows. He knows.
So, there's medicine in us resorting back to that childlike innocence and that childlike joy. So thank you for that reminder, and thank you for being an example for me. Even though I want him to grow up a little bit, he's about to be 19. There's a part of me that's like, don't ever change. Don't ever change. All right, you could. Yeah, so thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you, Inaruti, for everything. Thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure. So we have one more person.
So I think it's interesting that we're talking about resilience because as a kid, I would enjoy writing. And I don't know what happened where I kind of just like threw out all my writings. I was like writing a book. And my therapist thinks that maybe somebody just like snooped and read my stuff. And now there's like so much resistance to getting back into writing. But this morning, I actually wrote a little bit about resilience. So I been playing with the idea of like starting a blog, and then I'm just like, no one wants to hear this. And now that we're talking about this, I'm like, am I supposed to share this? I'm like, I guess this is it. So it's just a little something. I'm gonna go ahead and read it. It's pretty short, but it's just me trying to get back into writing. Just pull it out. So my story begins in a home shaped by turbulence, an alcoholic father, and emotionally distant parents who lacked the tools to nurture. From an early age, I learned how to navigate life on my own, often feeling like the black sheep of the family. My decisions were always questioned and my dreams misunderstood, yet those doubts never defined me. Instead, they fueled me. In 2021, I walked away from a very stable corporate job and finally stood in my truth. The plan was actually to move out of my parents' home, but instead, I was unemployed for almost 2 years. And during that time, I focused on harnessing my energy and truly working on my inner self. In 2023, I found refuge with my brother, a safe haven from the chaos at home, and I moved in with him and his family. But later on, I moved to New Jersey with my college roommate, carving out a space for independence and growth. But life has a way of bringing us back to where we began, and I returned to my parents' home for the last 2 months, only to feel the weight of generational cycles. The women in my family have long endured relationships with men struggling with addictions. Their dreams, like flickering candles, were extinguished by the winds of sacrifice and survival. I vowed not to follow that path, to break the cycle, even if it meant enduring criticism for my choices. At 30, I'm still navigating uncharted territory, deciding to leave home and chase a dream that feels true to me. Finally, seeing my power and potential, being open to receiving, and not being afraid of being seen. California has become the possible backdrop of my new chapter. I'm not married, I don't have children. And to my family, that might seem like, sorry, I'm getting really emotional. To my family, that might seem like failure, but to me, I call it freedom. But this journey has not been without heartbreak. Just last year, I lost my first love to a motorcycle accident. The one person who saw me, who actually truly saw me, and all of my weirdness, my wild dreams, and my pain. Even though we were no longer together, he remained the constant source of understanding. The kind of support that I had always craved but rarely received. And his loss was a reminder of how life is fragile and the importance of living authentically, no matter how unconventional it might seem to others. My story is not one of perfection, but of perseverance. It's about choosing myself when no one else did. It's about breaking free from the chains of expectation, saying no to generational cycles that confine so many of us. I'm still figuring things out, but I've learned that resilience is not about having all the answers. It's about daring to ask the questions, to dream, and to keep moving forward, even when the path feels uncertain. This is a fraction of my story, and while it's still unfolding, I know it will be one of growth, healing and the pursuit of a life that feels wholly mine. Oof, that was a lot. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for sharing. I love you so much and your eyebrows. And I'm so glad you're here in LA. You know, I do think that a lot of healers are being called here. I don't know what it is. I think there's something very special about this land. I think that a lot of us are going to liberate from the matrix here, and that we're all witnessing this unfold, and it's not a coincidence that we're all here. Your words are so beautiful. I hope that you will continue to write more and to share it. And I'm also hearing maybe like a writing circle. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
You know, Joel. I'm hearing a writing circle. So yeah, thank you so much.
I have to say, Rosanna, gracias, thank you. It's amazing. You know, there are no mistakes in life, you know, and it was hard for you to share that, but I got the message. There was a message there for me. You know, I realized today as I sit in this circle that I have a block with writing. You know, I used to write a lot. And it just hit me now. Thank you. It hit me now that it's the block is not wanting to, it was a way of disconnecting from that. You know, those experiences where I used to write a lot, it was healing. It was what it was at that time. And I loved it. And I've been wanting to write a book or something. I don't know what it is, but I've been wanting to write. I write poetry every now and then, but I get stuck. And so thank you, because it clicked for me. It kind of at least helped me realize where it's coming from. And that's the good thing about it, right? Because when we know where it's coming from, then it's up to us to do the work around it, you know, do the work around it. I also wanted to say, you know, that, you know, we're fighters, and yeah, we're always fighting because we're not complacent. And that's a beautiful thing, right? So since we're not complacent, we're going to fight, you know, and sometimes when we think the fight is done, it's not. I mean, I'm fighting now at, you know, for the same bull crap that I was fighting 30 years ago, you know, for women to be respected, for healthcare, you know, equitable healthcare for everybody. The same fight, you know, the same fight. But just keep on having fun. I think that for me is really that joy, really being able to celebrate the small accomplishments, you know, whether it's, you know, when you want to help the world, it's almost impossible, but you know, rejoice in that one person that you were able to impact at any given time, and that keeps you kind of strong to continue the battle. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you so much. But yeah, I've been pushing through, but I realized even as a kid, because I struggle a lot with my throat chakra, Kathy knows. So I think like writing was just always my way of like just letting things out, because I wasn't really like allowed to talk. So I'm like trying to get back to it, but the resistance has been like, no, don't do it. No one cares. Or just like, go do something else. Go watch a show. But I've been trying. So thank you all for listening.
Well, we care. Right? And also, I just want to say, like, my family does not understand my lifestyle at all. Like, my family has no clue of the impact that I have on so many people. They think that I'm going backwards, and they're like, you know, why don't you just get a job? You have a degree. You know, like, they just don't get it. And I think that's okay, because like we're not here really to fit into this world. We're here to birth a new one.
Yeah.
So, you know, We
I
gotta.
don't know what happened. It was like once I hit 30, I swear it was just like, and I'm like, I just don't give a fuck. Like I'm tired. I'm tired of trying to like fit what like their description. And it's so interesting because just being here in LA, like I feel like I'm just me here. Like I don't need to, I don't know, like I don't know if it's because maybe like my family's not here, like people don't really know me here, but I'm like I just don't care. I'm like, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. Like this is what I like to do. And I feel more like accepted here than I do back in New York City. And same thing with my family. Like every time I tell my mom about like a testimony from one of my clients or something, she's always like, "Oh, and they believe in that," and I'm like, just never mind, just never mind.
Okay, like I am getting like 12 other workshops from this circle because that is so real. Like, and like I'm still having a hard time navigating that, like just the resistance to this work and how like, for some people this is devil work, like some people think that people think that we're here like opening portals and bringing demons through and stuff like that. I'm just like, bro, we're just sharing stories. Like we're just
Yeah.
sharing.
Oh, my mom has even said that maybe the reason why my dad still doesn't drink is because of the cards and the crystals I have in my room. I was like, woman, this man has been drinking before I was even thought of. And now she's like, it's weird because she's like kind of coming together. Like me being here, surprisingly, she didn't freak out. She was like, I thought she was gonna freak out because I flew knowing there was a fire. And I just knew that like I had to be here. And she actually called me last night and starts telling me how she wants me to help her with this. And like maybe we could get my dad to do breath work. And I was like, who is this? Like, I was like, so I leave. So you guys gave me 2 months of hell because I was there for November and December. Something just told me that I would be away from home for a while, but I didn't know exactly what that was. And that's why I moved out of New Jersey and decided to stay with them. And then I was like, oh, I think I need to go to Cali. Why? I don't know, but I'm going to do it. So I'm like, so it was 2 months of fucking hell. And I leave. And now all of a sudden you want to try all these things that was in your face when I was there. But I was like, you know what? I'll take it. I'm like, we're getting somewhere. So
Yes,
How long are you in town, Luna? How long are you in town?
I actually came with a one-way, so I'm just like kind of
Really?
figuring it out. I do want to go to school here. I been looking into that. So I'm staying at one of my friend's house, which turns out that I thought I would be staying with her, but she actually met someone and she's living with him. So her apartment has been empty, which I had no idea about. So I'm staying here for January, but I think she found someone to sublease it. And I'm kind of like crossing my fingers that that person just says, never mind, and I could take over.
Wow.
But I'm trying not to stress it. Because I honestly don't know what I'm doing once the end of January comes, but everything in me is like, you can't go home. Like, I told my cousin back home, like, if I go to New York, I need you to check up on me because I am gonna be so depressed when I get back. Like, I cannot do this. I can't.
You don't have to go back. And
You don't
also,
have to go back. You don't have to go
yeah,
back.
and
I
Los
never went
Angeles,
back.
oh, and Los Angeles is a safe haven for the weirdos. It really is.
I'm just like, it's
Welcome
back to
home.
the whole like housing situation where it's like, it feels so, like out of place for me. Like I feel so comfortable here, but I'm like, I know that, or at least for now, someone else is coming at the end of January and I need to leave. So when I start thinking of like, okay, I don't know where I'm gonna stay, I can't just afford to just like go ahead and like rent another place off rip. It like freaks me out. So I'm just like trusting and just manifesting that if that person doesn't cancel, that something's gonna come up. And even if it's rough in the beginning, I'm like, I need to figure it out because I'm like holding on to this feeling of how good I feel here, even though all this craziness is going on, and I can't go back.
Yeah, and homelessness is part of the LA experience. It really is.
This is your wolf instinct. This is that sensation. Your instincts will take you to your path.
Yes.
You can take my number from Inaruti for sure. That's what happened to me when I came here. I came here on vacation as a joke, and then I turned 30 and I was like, oh my God, what is this place? I give no fucks and I don't ever have to wear pants again. I had come from New York. You don't have to wear pants in LA. You don't actually ever have to wear pants for the rest of your life if you stay here. And then I freaked the fuck out and I packed up everything I owned and I drove and I got a sublet and I've been here for 3 years.
I'm not wearing
Wow.
this now.
I'm not wearing pants. I'm not wearing them. And it's January 12th. I'm not wearing a fucking pants.
Hilarious, hilarious. Well, I don't want to take up too much of the time. We're all gonna do a little gratitude share, so we get to like share a little bit of gratitude before we leave. But I do have homework for y'all. Okay, so this is the homework. I want you tonight or tomorrow night or within the next 3 days. You know, we keep it fluid, we keep it light, right? I ask you to reflect on a wolf life quality that you want to embrace. Okay? A wolf-like quality that you want to embrace. And also, I want you to, because it is a full moon and full moon is about releasing, I want you to write down one fear or obstacle that you wish to release. Okay? Now, the releasing can look many ways, right? You can flush it down the toilet, right? You can burn it. Although if you're in LA, please be careful with
Yes,
right now. Right? You can rip it up into little pieces. You can, anything that will signify or symbolize the release, right? And then, yeah, that's it. That's the homework. One wolf life instinct you're gonna embrace, and one fear you are letting go. And you have about 3 days to do this ritual. Okay, and one you're gonna keep with you. You could keep the wolf life instinct on your altar and allow it to carry you for the rest of the year, right? As a reminder of like, this is the resilience that I'm honing into. This is resilience that I'm anchoring into so that I can be not only resilient for myself, but for my community. But in order to do that, there's something that needs to be released as well. And what is it gonna be that you let go of? Okay. And with that, really quickly, less than 1 minute, we can go around the circle and just share one thing that we're grateful for before we close.
I'll go first. I am grateful for all of you. I want to thank you for this space and for this time and for your hearts and your souls. You really radiate. And I want to thank Inaruti for everything too. And Rosanna, I didn't get to say this on the last conversation, but I feel so proud of you. And we're all here for you and with you. And yeah, I'm really grateful for this. Thank you.
Thank you. I guess I'll go. I feel very grateful for community because I feel like I've spent so much time looking for that like support and love from family because I grew up that, family is family, and if you ever need help, you only go to family. And I'm finally breaking free of that and realizing that the love and support that I've yearned for has always been right in front of me. I just kept looking in the wrong places. So I'm grateful for community and friends that turn into family.
I'm grateful for the support of my community and to be of service to my community as we transition into a new stage of our city, at least.
I am grateful for you, all you powerful people. And yeah, definitely grateful for this space. Thank you.
I'm so grateful, likewise, for all of you. I have wonderful community, but not all my community is like able to go to this place with me and do this kind of work with me. And so I'm grateful to been able to have time with all of you, and I'm grateful everyone was able to open up and share so deeply. And I'm really grateful to Wolves and this experience that I got to have where, yeah, like all of our spirits were like howling and we found each other. And that's really resonating with me tonight. So thank you all. And thank you, Ruti, for arranging and even in the midst of so much devastation. And thank you, Rose, for facilitating as well. Thank you just for making space for others to come in. Thank you all.
Thank you, my love.
Yeah, I'm grateful for this meeting and coming together, and especially just the opportunity to hear a little bit about the positive things happening in LA, because it's hard to just see things on the media, and even if a lot of the truth coming to light is very negative, it's easy to like get stuck there too. And yeah, I'm grateful for a sense of belonging that I find is increasing, and something I've just really had to work on karmically in this lifetime, because I think it's always there, like when we want to participate in it. And but yeah, like our family often can be the teachers of who we are in the reverse, and I've definitely experienced that. But with that has come this sense of not wanting to fit in, or not wanting to be here often, or carry on that legacy. So yeah, but I really appreciate all of this work and care that you put into this space, and it's been a beautiful journey together. Yeah. Thank you.
I want to say thank you to all of you for being here, for being present. I want to give thanks to the internet for keeping us connected. Like, this is really a new Modern Mystics NYCLA gathering. Like, it's so beautiful. It's literally from coast to coast. And I just imagine like all the love that rippled from our hearts, and like how it just went across the whole entire United States. I'm grateful for these platforms. I'm grateful for the opportunity to still meet, no matter where we are in the world. Like, this is such a privilege. So I am, sorry, my child just came in interrupting, but I'm just so grateful for all of you. And I honestly have no words. Like, this was very nourishing. I for the first time, I don't feel exhausted. And I think that says a lot about what was done here, because I've been so tired, but I feel full of energy, and maybe I can get some studying done tonight. So thank you.
I would like to say that I am grateful for being vulnerable in community. I know that it can be really, really hard, and most of us know each other, but we don't know each other. We've never, some of us haven't met in person, but being here felt like we've been together for a really long time, and that feels really nice. And it's been an honor to hear all of your stories. And I'm also really grateful to be bleeding on this full moon. Something about it feels, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Thank you for bleeding for us.
You're welcome.
And with that, we're going to close with a collective howl. So I'm going to ask you guys to unmute yourselves. And we're going to give a loud collective howl. Okay, are you guys ready? On 3, 1, 2, 3.
That's so good.
I'm not good at howling.
There's no way.
We got some shy wolves. It's all right. It's all right. I'm the one in Moondance that'd be like, I'm that one. So thank you for being here. I'm gonna just stop the recording now.